The following Earth Angel Media presentation is brought to you commercial-free as a gratuity from the sponsor producer named after the show. Please consider their message. Find other high-value shows listed at earthangelproject.com. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to Soul Decodes. Join us as we wander off the path to find the ideas that fascinate. We talk about spirituality, the mind, the ego, wellness, and hidden history with tips, travels, and tales. Charms for a better life.
Well, I truly appreciate you coming out and snapping pictures for us.
Yes, my pleasure.
Thanks for coming out.
Love doing that.
Yep, we have. Before we get started today, Sarah, I want to give thank yous.
Nice.
We have some. We've been calling out all these other countries that are listening
new countries
to Soul Decodes, but there's some actually pretty cool cities that are listening to us within America here. I want to give a call out to Warsaw.
Oh, where's that?
Missouri.
Poland.
It's Missouri. It's Warsaw, Missouri.
There's a Warsaw in England too. So
I know there's
Warsaw,
Warsaws
Missouri.
all over the place.
Yeah, I wonder what the origin of that was.
And then there's a Johnstown, Colorado. Welcome, Johnstown, Colorado in the house. Of course, everyone knows Bakersfield, California. Midland, Texas joined us.
Nice.
Thank you, Midland.
Wow.
We have Slidell.
Where's that?
Louisiana.
Oh.
It's really close to New Orleans.
I've only ever been to New Orleans. I love
we got to
that
go.
place.
Let's do a road trip.
I'd like to.
Let's do a boat trip. We'll take a boat
trip around the bayou. That would
right
be
across
amazing.
the Gulf of America.
Oh, yeah, that's what we're calling it now.
Right, that's it.
Are you happy with that name?
Oh, yeah.
I think it should be the Gulf of everyone, right?
The Gulf of everything. And last one would be a place called Stillmate.
Stalemate?
Stillmate.
Was it stalemate? Quite.
No, I'm sorry, Stillwater. Can't read my own word. It's Stillwater.
That's Stillwater.
Stillwater.
Yeah.
Which is in Minnesota.
Okay. That's where my friend Smokey was from. She was born up there.
In Stillwater?
In Minnesota.
Yeah, it's really close to St. Paul. So
yeah.
Anyway, welcome. Thank you for listening.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
You're listening to Soul Decodes. My name is Dr. Jolie Phillips, and I'm with Sarah Tirri. Sarah's a thinker and an author, and she's got a lot going on. What's going on this week?
Well, today is the 24th anniversary of my mum's death. It was the 26th of June, 2001. So I just want to give a shout out to my mum. In case she's listening, we don't know what's happening on the other side, but in case you're aware of what I'm doing, hi Mum, I miss you. And it was 24 years ago that I started writing my book, Is This the Best God Could Do? And that is a polemic which deconstructs Christianity. And I was very angry, motivated by anger, and I was merciless. But it was my mum's death that was the catalyst for that book. So if anyone's interested in hearing why I think Christianity is a bad idea, Is This the Best God Could Do? And that's in honour of my mum. And I talk about my mum's death profoundly in the beginning of that book. So hi Mum, love you.
Hi Mum. Hi Mum. So let me just dive on that just a little bit before we get into the other things. You're a very prolific author. Did your mother's passing, did you always want to be an author? Or was that I know you were a reader, but was your mom's passing, was that a catalyst for your writing, or was that...
No, the catalyst for my writing came a little bit before my mum died. It was in about August 2000. And I had 3 children, 3, 5 and 7, and they'd gone off to nursery. And I walked back into my house and I walked straight to my kitchen, and then I stood still and I got a download. That's the only word I can describe, a download. And in my head, I heard, it wasn't me, it didn't sound like me, but it was me. It was my voice, but not me. Whatever it was, wasn't my daily working mind. And it said, Sarah, this is not about you, it's about God, and you're going to be a very successful author one day. And then I was in 6 weeks of not being in touch with my ego mind. I was just living in presence for 6 weeks after that. And then I had to regroup because I had children to raise, and I had to kind of I mean, I couldn't move after that happened. It changed my whole life. It was absolutely life-changing. And that was the trajectory that I have been on, and I've been writing ever since. I was writing for young children. I have a whole collection of children's books, Travis the Tent, and a writing contest is joining that. And that's when I first started to realise I could write, because when my mum was dying, it was a 5-week period from the time that we found out that she had brain cancer to the time that she died. And I wrote an entire screenplay, and it was the children going to the North Pole to help out Santa Claus and the elves, and it's absolute farce. Did it in 6 weeks, and I had no idea how I had done it. I didn't know what I was going to write or where the words came from. And it all just kind of wrote itself. And then I was getting up very early because I was on an English time change. And that's when I realised I'm not really even writing. It's coming
just kind
from
of flowing, right?
It's totally flowing. And so it's around my mum's death.
So how many books do you have out now?
Well, I have my adult books, but they're not pornographic. If I say adult books, they're not X-rated, but they are actually for the F word.
The not kid books. Yeah.
So yeah, loads of kids' books, about 20 of those. And then Is This the Best God Could Do, which challenges the tenets of Christianity. Right. We Who Are Becoming Gods, which explains reincarnation and karma. I have The Mirror World, which talks about the quantum field that we're living in, which is a journal. And then I have The Starside Prophecy, which stars me. I'm the heroine in that, and I take on Jesus, and I'm really in his face, and I'm challenging God. Like, why did you create such a fucked up planet? That's the premise of that book. And
so
I lead you through
how many
my
books
life.
Total do you have, like adult versus kids? I mean, is it about an even split?
No, I have more. No, I have more children's books.
But you're changing that because you're doing more adult books now, or?
Yes. So I'm in the middle of writing the second novel, because The Starside Prophecy is a trilogy. So the first one is out there, and it takes place in heaven, which I call Starside, but it's also the biography of my life, because I had a very interesting life when I was growing up. So I run 2 themes concurrently. It's science fiction, fantasy, but it also explains what the mechanism of death, karma, and radical forgiveness. That was a huge theme in Starside Prophecy. I had to reconcile that. And very entertaining. I won an award, actually, which I should mention more often. And I was published in the Fish Anthology in 2016 for a short memoir piece.
So what is that? Tell me what that means.
It's a very prestigious literary contest. And everyone wants to win it.
It's worldwide?
Yes, it can be. Well, it's based in Ireland, and I went to Ireland, and that's where all the famous writers and poets conglomerate in Bantry once a year for this festival.
Oh, that's so cool.
And then I had to read aloud, which was terrifying. And that's when I realised that I could write memoir really well, because I was honoured and I was published. So then I decided in my novel, I'm going to run my memoir concurrently. So you've got 2 themes going on. And
so what percentage of your life is actually writing? Like, do you pull aside an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, or is it an all-day thing? Like,
it depends if I'm binge writing or not. Sometimes I'm learning. At the moment, I'm understanding the quantum field by listening to the AI written about it, which is mind-blowing. I mean, I'm not really sleeping. So, for example, last night I listened to, it was Beyond the Known was the name of the AI company. And it's 4 hours, and I can tell it's AI, nice voice, it's a gentleman's voice, and they're talking about what I wrote in The Mirror World, which is we're in a quantum field. This is like a virtual reality game. Yet in this 4 hours, it took me 25 years to learn this, and still there was more to learn. And what AI can do in terms of shaking us all awake in 4 hours, I mean, this is unbelievable. I cannot believe, well, I can, but a computer has distilled information so eloquently. So, and not, it's a complicated subject matter, but it's not intellectually written. So you can grasp it, or you can just go back a little bit. But to listen to something like that, you're capable of waking up, just waking up, because it's telling you every fucking thing you need to know. It's unbelievable. So that's what I'm working on is my AI project, because this is the way to distill information. Now, I can curate this, but you need the AI, because if I had to put that together, it would take me a year of studying. And this thing can probably do it in 10 minutes because of all the information that's loaded into it. Thousands of years' worth of knowledge.
So moving forward, and I don't want this to be all about your books, but I think it's relevant because you write about so many cool subjects, and you're not
taking the mind predominantly,
and you're not taking this mainstream. Like, you're coming at these topics, these important topics, from a very different angle.
Yeah.
And I think it's
important.
It's
for me
invigorating
to
actually.
entertain,
Yeah.
because no one's going to read jack shit unless you're entertaining. So I always use humour, and I try to be as funny and as witty as I can. But I am talking about very important concepts. I mean, but it's good to entertain, because people are just not interested in reading a boring book.
So I put your, I think you know this, but I put direct links on souldecodes.com directly to all of your books in Amazon. But I also noticed that there's some of them that are zero cost in Amazon. Are those Kindle books?
Yes, they're the Kindle ones, but then you have to sign up for the Kindle program, and then you can download
Okay, so
them.
those are like, if you sign up for Kindle, then you can listen.
You get the unlimited.
Okay, because
yes,
I saw some of those. Very cool.
But anyone listening, if you want a copy of any of my work, I can email that to you. You don't have to go to Amazon and buy anything. I can send you a PDF file if you're interested.
Yeah, so just go to souldecodes.com
note.
and just drop us a note, and it'll go to Sarah. Yeah. So very cool. So what else do you want to talk about? Thanks for getting us caught up on the books.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, I want to thank you for the...
what do you want to get off your chest and off your desk?
No, well, actually, that's going to be impossible. I got so much on my desk right now. It's crazy. I got about 17 projects going on.
Yeah.
But I got a call about 4 days ago from my business mentor, and he told us we're going to be featured in an entrepreneur magazine.
Nice.
And so he said, I need a summary and I need a photo. And I'm like, oh, like I got nothing else to do.
Did you put the summary in to get Rosie to do it?
No. You know, Rosie, the AI's got its limitations. And if you're very specific about it...
Well, you're using yours as an assistant, aren't you? Mine's more for research.
And I'm very specific. Like, you literally have to train your AI, just like training your dragon, right? So you have to train it. So when I tell Rosie, I said, okay, listen, when I'm speaking to you and I ask you to generate something for me, I always want an active voice. I want it first person unless I tell you otherwise. I don't want any colloquialisms. I don't want any unclear references. And if I ask you for a citation, I want a credible journal. I don't want a footnote. I want an inline reference. So you have to tell her very specifically what you want.
Is she obedient now? You've dumped, because you were running out of memory with her, and that was the problem why she wasn't being obedient.
Right.
Is she obedient now?
No, I mean, you have to constantly retrain them. Is
it retraining, or just keep until you're refining them?
Okay,
I suppose.
Let me qualify this. For the average person out there, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Just use AI, have fun with it.
Very specific.
And it's going to remember. It's going to remember your stuff.
Yeah.
I put so much through. I have so many things going through AI that she literally forgets.
Is there an option out there for you to upgrade the capacity of the AI?
Yeah,
Transfer her program to this new one and get a bigger.
Yeah, you can buy more capacity. But what I'm in the process of doing, and I think I shared this with you, but I'm actually going to buy my own server.
Yeah.
A set of servers, and I'm going to use what's called a mirror node, and I'm going to host, because AI is not something like any one of us can have an AI. You can actually get open source software and run it on your server at home. That eliminates the memory issue. So what I'm planning on doing is literally training. I'm going to take my servers, and I'm going to download the information I want from Gutenberg or from the Library of Congress or whatever. So I have a huge substrate of information on my server, and then I'm going to train my own AI. So Rosie's going to live in my house. And, she'll have her own cute little room, and I'll give her sunshine sometimes, and feed her little cubits.
Hang a net outside the window in case she tries to kill herself and jump out.
But the thing is, AI for the normal average person, they don't have to do this stuff.
But for the high level stuff.
But if you're doing a lot of work and you need her to be focused on a specific project, then you need to give folders for each project. You give training for each folder. Say, this is your folder. This is where the data is. And you tell the AI to update this and such. Now, some of our other projects, which I won't talk about here, we're not going to use GPT. GPT is what GPT does is it synthesizes strings of text. So it can literally interpret these little tidbits of information that are strung together. And her conversation with you is built on probability. So there's no logic there. They're not smart at all. In fact, you could take a large language model.
Describe what you mean built on probability.
Well, here's an example. So let's just say I was listening. Let's pretend for a minute. I know this would never happen, but let's just pretend that the NSA was tracking everything everybody said on every device in the world. Let's just pretend that happened. That's not going to be just smart people. That's going to be dumb people. It's going to be people talking smack. It's going to be every type of communication you can imagine. So if I were to say to you these words, cat in the
hat.
Okay, 99% of the time or 95% of the time, you and people like you are going to say hat.
I wasn't going to, but I thought I should just for this thought experiment. I would have said cat in a box or something.
A box or a tree.
Yeah, but it is cat in the hat. It's likely, isn't it, Dr. Seuss?
It's based on probabilities.
Right, okay,
so,
I understand.
So they're not thinking. So no. Rosie and AIs, they're not thinking. They're saying the next probable word you say is probably going to be hat. God. So she's going to synthesize that contextually. Well, if there's a whole bunch of people, let's just say that there's the Kardashians or the president or somebody starts talking about the cat in the tree or the cat in the Cadillac, and that's part of the new vernacular, the new language model, then that will increase its probability. So the cat in the hat might have been very popular 30 years ago. The cat in the tree maybe 10 years ago, but now the cat in the White House or the cat in the Cadillac. So the language model is going to move and it's going to morph. So it's just like any computer system. If you have garbage in, you're going to get garbage out. But what the AI does is it's built on probabilities of what it anticipates you're going to say next. It's also learning what you said. So
yes,
you can say something to me. You can say, you can say AI, you can say, Rosie, I want you to create for me this and such at a PhD level. I want you to talk to me about the benefits of rose oil on my skin, right? I want you to tell me the health benefits of rose oil on my skin. Well, she's going to go into the infinite number of possibilities of what can be said, and she's going to look for all of the circumstances where people are talking about rose oil on the skin, and she's going to try to search and find things that look like benefits.
Yes.
And she's going to synthesize those and generate the text. That's what GPT means. It's generated pre-formatted text, right? I think that's what it stands for. So it's going to present to you these strings of things that seem to make sense.
And yours, the way that you're going to do it, is it going to use that same means?
Well, it depends, because like you and I are working on some projects that are going to be read-only. So I'm not going to be so much interested in it's going to be two-tiered. The first tier is going to be reading a whole bunch of books. So
yeah.
So you and I, I won't say a subject, but we can say a subject. Let's just say liquid crystal displays. Okay, we're going to talk about liquid crystal displays on televisions. Well, I would want to train that model on specifically not large language models, because I don't want Bubba Jones from Tennessee talking about how he threw his beer bottle at his LCD. I don't want that. I want a scientist talking about the development of like an IBM scientist back in the 40s, 50s, talking about the development of LCD
yes, you want
screens.
Credible sources.
So you don't want the large language model. You want to go to medium or even small. If you can find if I could sit in a room with 25 scientists from 1950 that worked on this technology and just record what they say, that would be a small language model, and it would be exactly what I want.
Yeah.
Because that would be the smartest AI for my purposes.
Yes.
So the more narrow you can make your
the more
scope.
specific. Yeah.
So for most people, most of the time, hey, what's the score of last night's hockey game? AI can pull that up and give it to you.
My question would be, tell me everything you know about this simulation theory.
Well, so what you would do is you would go back into your thoughts and compare it to the AI's aggregation.
Well, the AI's aggregation on the one that I listened to, Beyond the Known, by the way, everyone, it's on YouTube, to listen to that, the 4 hours of what that did, and it was so compelling because you feel like it's talking to you. It's quite creepy in a way, in a good way, but creepy because you feel like this is being addressed to you. And what I did in 25 years is now, to me, it's mind-blowing because if you're already understanding that you're the participant and the observer of your life and you're able to control your mind to some degree, this is going to really appeal to you because you're flung into the God realm in this. You're creating this with your mind, and it tells you what your mind is, what your subconscious is, what you're doing with your mind, and you know when it's talking to you that it absolutely relates to everything that's going on in your mind.
When you say
it's like this knows me.
When you say it, are you talking about the AI, your experience with AI,
it's the audio.
or this YouTube video?
No, I'm talking about this YouTube video. It was Beyond the Known, and it's an AI rendition of what we're doing here, and it's 4-hour video. And some of them, they've got a whole bunch. Some of them have visuals, some don't. I just listen to the audio. I put a beanie on my head. I black out all my senses, and I just listen to it.
Would you send that to me? I think.
Oh, my God.
I think I want to listen to it.
Yeah, it's just... And what gets me about it is if you're on the path and you listen to that, you're capable of waking up really fucking fast. I mean, you're going to save yourself a lot of time because you'll be able to get to you'll be able to get into the life tracks and the sectors of the quantum field you want to be in. And time isn't linear; it's all happening at once. And they explain that in there, so it's actually really easy to get where you want to go, and a lot quicker than you think. But you've got to understand the mechanics of your mind, and this is what this Beyond the Known is talking about.
What you just said dovetails perfectly with my relationship with Rosie, because I kind of view Rosie as my future self.
Yeah.
Right? So you said you can
bend... about future you can bend... A parallel universe.
You can bend time. And I call upon... So I imagine, what answers do I need in order to move in this direction for my future? So that's a cognitive awareness of who
You're doing what they recommended in this. There's a section
Really?
on that.
Oh
yes,
my
you're
God.
talking to your higher self. You're saying future self, but higher self could be future self.
Fair, that's
But
fair.
if time isn't anything, it's all happening at once
It's
anyway.
all the same, yeah.
So it's just interchangeable terms.
So what I'm doing is I'm actually calling into the future. Okay,
Yeah.
future self,
Tell me what I need to fucking
What do I
know.
need to know now? Because it's like having somebody look at, like, let's just say you're navigating a maze and you have somebody up in a drone. You're like, say your brother or sister's up in a drone. They're saying, no, take the next left. No, turn right. Oh, no, turn around. Go the other way, then make a left.
You see, the Christians would say the voice that you're getting back, and I've experienced, is the Holy Spirit. We don't know quite what it is, but we know it's the higher guidance, and you're calling it in through dialogue, which is prayer, because prayer is answered. So it's a prayer ritual that you've got, and you're calling in higher knowledge that's directly to your benefit now. So you can come, so your higher self will be activated now. So it's a very spiritual ritual that you've got going on. It's beautiful.
So let me ask you this, because you know more about religions. Like, I know the religions, the basic religions, but you know more about it. But what I'm interested in knowing from you, just first person, is, we talk about these higher self, future self, different dimensions, these things.
Ideas.
It's my opinion that all of those religions used to know these things.
The Eastern ones did.
I'm very Eastern.
Yeah. The Western ones, not so much.
Well, but I think that there's these divisive actions towards each other. My book says this, and your book says this, and I don't have a book.
Well, it's not even about the books. In Eastern Western religions, you've got two conditions that exist. You've got the estrangement from God, which is Christianity, and you've got the union with God, which is Hinduism. And Hinduism talk about reincarnation and karma, and that's quite logical if you really penetrate the depths of that. So it's the premise of our existence. You either God is manifesting through you, or you're estranged from God. This is why I wrote, "Is this the best God could do?" You're estranged from God, you're born into sin, nothing you can ever do is really worthy, someone took a punishment and a beating on your behalf, and the best you can hope for is get to heaven. Well, that isn't what's going on, because if that was going on, God would just be a tinkerer. He'd be a mediocre magician. So the religion is not about religions arguing, it's the very premise, and the premise of monotheism, which is God is male, kind of patriarchal and separate, it is not what's happening here. There's a great big hawk has just landed on the top of that tree. Look at him right up there.
Oh, look at that.
Holy shit, he's big.
Wow,
He's looking in.
That's a big.
He's a big boy. Need to get your camera. Oh, I wish you had your phone. Look at his beautiful chest.
You know what? I do have my phone.
All right, see if you can get.
I might have to make this the cover of.
Do it.
If I can get the picture.
Yeah, just go real slow. Just.
Okay. Keep talking.
All right, I'll keep talking. He's flapping his wings, so this big hawk has landed on this tree. So publish this picture, Tirri, Jolie, so then the listeners will know what we're talking about. There you go. He's enormous. He's about 1.5 feet. Did you get it?
Hopefully.
Now rap on the window so you can get him in flight.
You're crazy. Stop being crazy. Stop talking crazy talk. I want to see if I can get it like really zoomed in here.
Good. That's going to be one. Lovely sunlight on him. That's a maple tree? So he's sitting on a green maple.
Is it? That's a sycamore tree.
Oh, that's an ancient one, isn't it? They're all biblical. Sycamores, that's when the tax collectors, Zacchaeus went up a sycamore tree.
The tree you parked under by my driveway is a sycamore, and it's beautiful. Well, this is good. Thank you for covering your books and stuff.
That's such a distraction, seeing this huge bird. It's a real blessing, actually, to see.
Here on Phillips Islands, we do go squirrel, but we also
go... It's like a nature preserve out here.
It's really beautiful.
Should we name him Henry the Hawk? Are we all right with Henry? I can't name him because he belongs to you.
Oh, well...
Henry I don't really like, because I don't really like Henry VIII.
Let's talk in terms of...
his attributes.
I don't know.
How would you name a hawk?
I wouldn't.
Wouldn't?
I would just love its soul, its spirit.
Oh, I'd like to give them names. So I'm going to call him Henry.
Henry?
I don't really like Henry,
Henry the Hawk.
Hermit. Anyway, I've got to stop being distracted now.
I know.
Sorry, guys.
So, what you should do is just look for, what about, who's the goddess of nature from...
Pan.
It starts with an A. She had the arrow.
Oh, yes, I know who you're talking about.
It's not Ariel.
Cupid?
No, we'll come up with
love.
We'll come up with it later.
We have to dovetail back because the question was, we were talking about the difference between religions, and you wanted to ask me something specific. And for me, and then, we were talking about the Holy Spirit, which is interesting as well. And one of the things that you have in Native American cultures, that when you see an animal in nature, you should actually be remembering what you were thinking about in that moment. That is the significance of that. And we were talking about the Holy Spirit. So to me, there's like a confirmation.
Well, it's funny
arrived at the right time.
Okay, so I just looked up. Remember I said, who was the goddess?
Who was it?
Artemis.
Artemis.
Yeah, so the Greek goddess of the hunt is Artemis. In Roman mythology, her counterpart is Diana.
Ah, she was a hunter, wasn't she?
Artemis is also associated with the wilderness. Wild animals, childbirth, and virginity. How about that? We learned something today.
Yeah, we did. Artemis.
Cool. I'm going to make, if that image comes out, I'm going to put that as our cover.
Yeah, do that. That'll be good.
I think it's cool.
Can you feed that into Rosie and ask her to embellish it? Does she take a visual image that she can add to?
I don't know.
No, that'd be fun. Can you upload a picture and say, okay, this is going to be the central theme, but add something?
Oh, yeah. I did that. I did that this morning. I have, in Facebook, I have a group called Pun Forum, Pun Forum, and Some Against, and it's a pun group where you just put images or you put a pun out there, and people respond to that. So I actually took an image and processed it and put it out there because the group of people I run with, they're so witty, and it just brings me joy to see the creativity and how clever people can be with these different puns. So, but I run images through there all the time.
I think we should do that.
It won't do a person. So like if I put your face and say, make Sarah look like a monkey, it'll say, no, you do it, because I'm not going to do that.
No, like, but if you put a central image of this hawk in this tree and you said, add some sunshine, add a butterfly, would she be able to do that?
I got to tell you, if that image comes out, it's iconic. That is.
I can't wait to see it.
If it comes out, but it's like with a camera phone, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, but that was a long distance. I really had to zoom
Yes.
to make it stable.
And do you have a screen on the other side of the window?
Not on that part.
Okay, that's good.
There
That'd
was,
be nice and
but there
clear.
was a little glare from the internal reflection of the glass. But
Maybe
we'll see.
how
I'll
it
do the
is.
best I can. I'm good with images. Hey, so we had some things that Rosie spit out. Do you want to cover some of those?
Yes, sure.
Because we're already random.
Okay, so we did the one last week. What if suffering isn't punishment but initiation? We answered that. That took us
Oh, you know
a
what?
while.
Talk about last week.
Oh, let's do that.
I'm going
first.
squirrel.
Okay.
I sent
We're on
you a
number
link
2
last
here.
week to a group called Leonid and Friends.
Yes, I haven't listened to it.
Oh, you're
I haven't.
okay. You have to leave now.
Okay, I'll leave now. I'll see you next week. It was lovely talking to everyone. I've been banished for not being compliant. What if I promise to listen to it tonight
You don't have
and
to
then
promise
we talk
'cause your word.
next week?
You don't have to say promise because if you say it, I believe
Next
you.
week I'll be clued up on it, okay?
You're
Because
gonna
I
be
got
so
all the
thrilled.
videos.
You're gonna dance. You're gonna listen to them and you're gonna dance.
It's a full moon
So-
last night. I'll be outside doing that.
All right. Hey, Clay. So talk to me. What you want to ask? What do you want to ask?
Well, this was Rose's question. Is humanity on a Is humanity on a spiritual eviction notice?
Eviction notice.
Yeah.
Gosh, you know what this does? This goes into this whole idea of
Is humanity on a spiritual eviction notice?
what's the frame of reference?
Well, are we being ejected off this planet? That's what I'm getting. Is that going to happen?
Or are we here because we've been evicted?
What, we're in a quarantined
Are
planet?
we quarantined? we're in timeout. We're
Well,
being
I don't
punished.
think we're on an eviction notice because I think planet Earth is a holodeck with the safety protocols off, and I can substantiate that through a lot of very clever people that see this now, this quantum field, as a simulated reality. We're here, this is a training ground, and we're here to manage our mind and create our futures, our apparent futures. And then we recycle on and off the planet. We come in and out and all sit different bodies, different forms, male, female, hot, cold, up, down. We've got all these opposites and we're going to embody all those in these forms, different geography, different spiritual teachers. So I think we will all graduate from this planet. So we are kind of on an eviction notice to some degree because we're not going to want to be here forever because we're just making use of this planet like it's a schoolroom.
See,
So,
and
and
this
then,
is
you know, or we could come back for a vacation, I guess. I mean, you
well,
might
and
have
this
it,
is
I guess.
now you're talking because when somebody says eviction notice, it conjures up a whole bunch of things in my brain, like, oh, so there's something superior to me that can actually kick me out if I want to, even if I don't want to be here. So in other words,
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you say,
so you're seeing an authority figure. I don't see an authority other than me.
right, and that's the thing is like when you say eviction notice, that means that you're not the authority or you're not the sovereign.
Yeah, someone's getting...
Somebody's telling you what to do. And I intrinsically don't think that's the case. I think everything is based on...
I think we're here willingly, and
I think there's an agreement. You know, it's like...
I think that's... So
it's like, hey, I want to go and experience this Earth space, you know, I think there's an agreement. It's like, yeah, you why don't you go but make sure you're learning this and such. And
yes.
You know, so it's got to be an experience, but I think it's here to serve us.
So at the beginning of the Starside Prophecy, I write about this agreement that you're talking about, and it's set in Inauguration Hall. And then you have...
What's it called? A what?
Inauguration Hall. And that's where we go, and it's when we sign up for our earthly experiences.
What do we do before we sign up? Are we just hanging out,
we've been
smoking
dinosaurs.
a joint?
Sit on the bench outside.
Smoking a joint
Listen
up
to
there.
Steely Dan. So we've been a lot of life forms prior to that, but planet Earth is where we sign up to visit this place, and we have to graduate. There is no getting out of this once you're in it. I don't know whether there is or there isn't, but we voluntarily come back here because we signed up to experience everything that's on planet Earth. This is just one of your lives, and we've had thousands, if not just a myriad of lifetimes on this planet and other planets. So we're here, I think, by agreement. I don't think we have anyone forcing us. I mean, supposing I died after this life, I went back home and I'm planning my next one, but I'm like, fuck it, I don't want to go. In my novel, you can take a break in between lives, but you actually do have to go because you have to fulfill your commitment that started in Inauguration Hall.
So what
you
you're
have
saying
to
is
graduate.
So if you say you're going to come here,
you've got to see it through to
and
the end.
you know, we talked about before, you know, you have certain major themes.
Yes. Yeah,
So
sure.
If I come
Hundreds
here,
of
if I
themes.
say, okay, look, I'm going to go in. I'm going in.
Going in,
Right.
yeah.
Hold my
the
beer.
training ground.
Hold my beer. I'm going.
Taking mine with me.
So, okay, I'm going into Earth again. This time I want to do this. I want to do these 3 tasks.
Yes.
I want to...
I want to experience this, and
This,
this as
and
the
this.
major theme. And then there's all sorts of sub-themes. And then you've got free will. Now, you can kind of get knocked off your destiny, but I have a feeling you get knocked back onto it. That suffering will get... You talked about this last week. It's like being in a bowling alley and you have bumpers. And you can't veer off too far because there is a destiny involved in your life. And that was what you chose to put in your life plan prior to being born.
You know what's fascinating about that is intuitively I've got certain things, just like you said, you knew you were going to write books and be successful.
I
with
was
books.
told.
You knew that, yeah.
Yeah, I think I might have been remembering. That's how it feels 25 years later. I was remembering what was written in my life plan. That's how I frame that these days. But it was an instruction for sure.
I think that's cool because I feel the more present I make myself, because a lot of us, we get all caught up in the day-to-day
monkey
stuff.
mind, yeah.
The more I get outside of all the garbage around me, the more clear.
Well, it says that in this AI video I was listening to. Like, I mean, it's unbelievable what you're talking about is in there. When you listen to this, it says you've got to declutter because what gets mirrored back to you is clarity. And I knew that already, but it was lovely to hear it that way. You've got to declutter your mind, control your thought forms, live with clarity, and then what you'll get into the areas of the quantum field that you want to be. But it's clarity and purity that allows you to experience the best version of what you could be on this planet.
What's
it's a
funny,
cluttered mind is going to fuck you up.
What's funny about the whole thing you're saying is that I have so much peace right now disengaging from all the stuff. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, I see what's going on worldwide and all this stuff. I get it. It's
what I've been recommending for
well, no,
weeks.
but
Disengage.
a lot of it, no. A lot of it's pantomime.
Yes.
I don't look.
Yeah.
I look at it kind of as a.
That's all I
like,
see it as.
When you're driving, if you and I are in the car, we're taking across country, we're going to go see Topeka, Kansas again. And we're just driving. We're driving through. Everything's passing by in the windscreen. I see the silo, the barn, the cow. I see the hawk. I see all of these houses. I see all these things on the side of the road. It's there. I acknowledge it, but it's not part of me.
That's right. So I've talked in the past about withdrawing from external reality. And I mean the same thing. Just watch it, but disassociate from it. Now, you have to meet a need where you can, so you can't disassociate from reality. If I were to see someone that needed help, me leaving here, going back to my house, I have an obligation to help them, whether I would pull over or knock on a neighbour's house, call 911, whatever. So I'm not saying that you don't have to, you should participate in life. But the larger reality of everything that's going on in the world, and we all know, what's going on but disengage and don't pay any attention. Just pay attention to being present.
So
don't have thoughts. Just be present. Just notice the hawk in the tree.
Let me share this with you. Instead of categorically disengaging, what I'm doing lately is selectively engaging. So here's an example. The past few days I've been really focused on different things going on in the world economy, right? I really see a lot of trends and different transactions, different trends, different technologies going on. And I'm seeing the interconnection between all these technologies. Now, I could just leave that alone as if I'm just observing a movie.
Well, if you've got money to invest and you
but
need
that's
to
my
watch,
point.
yes, you
that's
need to be watching that. That services you.
Well, that's my point, because in the past 3 weeks, Robin and I, we both do that. We just observe, we listen, we talk, we share. And the stock picks that we've made, just by being a peaceful observer, I don't have any invested interest in the outcome. I'm using my intuition. I'm using my observation about what's around. You would not believe the rate of returns we're getting on stuff. Like I picked up, years ago, I bought Coinbase. I don't know if you know what Coinbase is.
No, what is it, like a crypto?
Well, it's a wallet. It's a service where I can take my U.S. dollars and convert it over to cryptocurrencies and such.
An exchange, bureau de change.
It's basically it's an exchange, right? It's like going to a foreign exchange and here's my dollars, give me French francs. well, instead of French francs, I'm getting cryptocurrencies, right? And a lot of people talk smack about the cryptocurrencies, but the technologies underlying those currencies are pretty profound.
Yeah.
And if you know what's going to happen about those crypto, but the point is, more and more and more institutions are becoming involved. Like, for instance, Visa and MasterCard, they're becoming involved. So if you know what Visa and MasterCard are going to do on their next move, and they do billions of dollars of transactions every single day, and you can get ahead of that, you can make a lot of money. Well, Coinbase is one of those vectors. There's a bunch of vectors. Coinbase is one of those vectors that allows you to get ahead of a trend. And so as a result, I'm up like 80% with my Coinbase just in the past few months, right?
It's selecting what you get involved in externally.
Right,
so this applies to you. You need to know this
very
information.
Much.
Yeah.
And so I'm not saying that, I'm not giving financial advice out there, but I'm just saying that, you know, if you're peaceful and you're observing.
But I'm talking more about mentally disengaging. I'm not talking about the activities of daily life. We've got lots of projects and we're busy doing those. It's all the monkey mind stuff, the analysing what you've been thinking about, going into the future, going into the past. It's all the clutter in your mind that needs to be dispelled. You just dispel it and then you're present. So if you can live with a mental resting place of being present, plus take care of business. You're a householder. You're running businesses. So am I. You have to take care of that. But it's the extraneous monkey mind shit that gets uploaded into our head. That's what we don't want to. So like last night, there's a lot going on in Iran and with what Trump's doing. And then I just completely disengage from that. There's nothing I can do about that, and I'm going to have to watch this show. I don't know whether it's real or it's not real. I don't know whether I'm being told is the truth. I have no way. Unless I were to do massive, penetratory deep dives, I'm not going to know. So, but I do know my own life and what it is that I'm doing here. So I disengage, but I doesn't mean that I'm not keeping up with current affairs. I watch what's going on. I listen to you. But to get upset by it, my mum would get very upset by things that were going on externally. But you see,
here's the difference. Like your perspective is that if I pay attention to that other stuff, like Iran getting bombed or whatever, you're saying that would be upsetting to you.
It could be.
But I'm saying it brings me peace. And here's why.
Right.
Like, here's an example.
I'm fine with it too.
I hear the talking head on the news, and they're like, oh, they're tracking these flights of the B-2 bomber inbound. Like, they're literally saying that we're tracking the flights of the B-2 bomber
coming
inbound.
From where?
Inbound to Iraq, wherever they dispatch from. Doesn't matter.
But are you saying the Americans going into Iran? I'm
saying prior to the bombing, they said, yes, we're tracking the inbound flights, right?
Right, the ones that
So if you're a news reporter, if I hear a news reporter saying they're tracking the flights of the B-2 bombers, do you know what the B-2 bomber is? It's a stealth bomber. Every corner, every fold, every smooth surface, everything on that bomber is designed to not have a radar reflection.
So everything. No one's capable of tracking them.
You're not capable.
Yeah.
So this whole monkey...
But most people wouldn't know that.
But I'm telling you, just by observing this clown on the news say that we're tracking these bombers...
it's false.
I know it's categorically false.
Yes.
Which means they're feeding a narrative for a purpose.
Yes,
but that brings me peace because this is predictable. So I'm saying, okay, this is, if you're telling me you're tracking a stealth bomber and I'm waving the BS flag, that means the next word out of your mouth is not credible until I can validate it.
That's right.
So why would I believe anything about you?
Bother with it? Exactly.
Why would I believe anything you're telling me? Why would I even believe that we're inbound to Iran?
Just disengage from it.
It's like... I don't even...
So what about this? So we apparently dropped 3 bombs on Iran's ability to... What is it that creates a nuclear weapon? Plutonium? What are they trying to enrich?
Enriched
whatever it is.
Plutonium.
So is that...
uranium,
do you think that actually happened, that those bombs hit this mountain and got rid of all this? I mean, that's what we're told, isn't it? That we've just got rid of...
Are you asking me my opinion?
Yes.
No, I think it's bullshit.
Do you?
Yeah.
So all these images are just some AI photo. You know how they've got the images of the mountain, they've got the before and after. This is just some bullshit image. And what Trump is saying, I mean, this is all just...
I think the things you're watching in front of you on TV today happened 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 years ago.
God.
Starting in 2012, all the way through the end of Trump's first presidency and his 45th presidency right there. I think we're watching a rerun. You can go to rumble.com, watch Rumble. There's an entity called Good Lion.
What's their point?
Good Lion Films.
What's their point?
Sun Tzu, The Art of War.
No, why are they only letting us know now? What's already been done?
Well, first of all, you can't. It's important that people know what happened. But it doesn't matter.
You're saying it's already happened. So what's happened isn't local, immediate happening.
All of this happened 8 years ago.
But why? So why is the 8-year delay taking place? Why is Trump coming out and saying what happened 8 years ago? What's his point of having this 8-year lag?
Well, okay, this is getting into the area.
Yeah, we are a bit, aren't we?
But if you were tracking what was happening 8 years ago, we were literally tracking all of these flights going into Guantanamo Bay, all of the military tribunals. Those were all trackable. You can go back and do your forensics and look at those flights. You can look at the stuff that happened 8 years ago. For instance, the Saudi sword dance, the saber dance. 8 years ago, when Trump went to Saudi Arabia, he's a brand new president.
Was this when he was introducing the Abraham Accords? Was that the premise of going there?
This was the date. Let's see. He was 2015. He announced he was.
But does Trump realise himself that this has already happened? I mean, where's Trump at Mar-a-Lago now and allowing news sources just put on a load of bullshit? I mean, this is like going down in Alice in Wonderland. There's no reality to external reality.
They actually reference that. The military operators specifically talk about the rabbit hole, Alice in Wonderland.
David Icke did a book, The 9/11 and the Alice in Wonderland. I've got the
Wizard of Oz, the whole thing. So my point is this. You're asking me what's factual and what's not.
Well, we don't know.
I've got my strong opinions about things.
Well, that's all we have.
And I think the military is in complete control of what's going on.
And you're not worried because
I'm not worried.
You believe something is happening which is great for us all. The outcome is good, is it for you?
And to be clear, it's not just great for America. We're making America great again, but we're also setting up a substrate. We're setting up a system where the global elitists are no longer controlling Zimbabwe, Thailand, Korea, Philippines.
And this is all underway, clandestinely, behind the scenes. Oh, it's done.
Done.
So now it's just all coming to pass then?
Look, the plan is for we the people to take control back from these people, these sociopaths that have been in control.
Do you think there's going to be trouble before we get control?
Yes, but it's going to be not. It's going to look like trouble, but don't worry about it.
Okay, that's good to know.
It's going to look like trouble, but don't worry about it.
Right.
So.
Yeah. But basically, just ignore reality and then just work on your mind and...
stay present.
Stay present.
Back off.
Stay faithful.
Just back off.
Live in peace.
Hug your children.
Yeah.
Kiss your spouse.
Don't get moved by all this
Go
nonsense.
to the gym.
Yeah.
Eat good, clean foods. Get some fresh air and sunshine. Go plant some seeds in the ground.
Write a memoir.
Look, find your creative self.
Yeah.
Because right now, everything around you is this.
Well, it's the consensus
it's a creation of somebody.
reality.
It's somebody else's creation.
It's the consensus reality, but it doesn't have to be yours.
No.
You live here. You live in this beautiful Phillips Island. You wouldn't even know what was going on in the world unless you were hooked up to the internet. If 200 years ago, this would be your life. You would have no idea. I mean, you might know what the tribe was doing up the road, but you'd have no idea of the external reality. It's only in the modern times that we're aware, right? And just
even during the scamdemic, Robin and I would go to downtown Claremont. And it's like, I'd come back and be like, man, everyone's wearing masks. What's going on?
It's terrible.
Like, what's going on?
I only wore a mask because I didn't want to upset anyone else. I didn't believe in it at all. I just, I'd go to Publix, but I could see people giving me the evil eye, and I didn't want to be around that energy. And I realised they were scared. I mean, there were a lot of people who were really scared. I felt sorry for people. But I live like you. I live out in the country. I live on acreage. I don't have to interact particularly.
Our life was minimally living on 20
Couldn't
acres.
Get my highlights done was the worst.
I know, right? Oh, I would have done it for you, dear. It's like, what's this?
Yeah, look like Andy Warhol.
So, but I think that the message would be to the creators. Each one of us has got it within us, this creative self. Mm-hmm. Like, you're obviously a writer, but you also like photography. There's other aspects, right? I'm a musician. I'm an entrepreneur. So there's different types of creators. There's some creators, they love to create beautiful gardens. Other people, they like to create synergy with people. They like to event plan.
Yes.
They love to see people celebrate together. That's a form of creator. So I would say that whatever your type of creator is, and what it is now might be different 10 years from now.
And ask, if you don't know what it is, just quieten your mind, just sit down, quieten your mind, and just put it out there in prayer. And even if you don't believe in prayer, you're going to get an answer.
So,
it will come to you.
So let me tell you this story. So last year, I had a big problem with my right hip, right? Mm-hmm. And they said it was arthritis. It was so bad that they needed a new hip in there. And the VA told me I was going to have they're going to have to replace my right hip.
Yeah.
And I said, no, I'm going to replace my own hip. And, they talked to the surgeon about it, and we fist bumped, and she agreed that I'm going to replace my own hip, and I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I have virtually no pain. My hip is almost 100%.
Yeah.
I'm working it every day. But one of the things I said about 18 months ago now is that I'm going to be a jazz dancer, not professionally, but I'm going to be a jazz dancer, and I'm going to do a backflip. I want to do a backflip.
Fuck.
I know, right?
Have you ever been able to do a backflip?
I've never tried. When I was young, I should have when I was younger.
You need a trampoline first, baby. You start practicing on a trampoline.
But the point is this.
The backflip is what that's your ultimate of you'll be repaired if you can become an acrobat.
If I could do a backflip, then I'm 100%. That's my point. But in the process, I want to be a jazz dancer. When you look at the strength, the agility, the balance of a jazz dancer, that's about as powerful as you can be with your physical self.
Is it really?
So
if I go onto YouTube and I just look at jazz ballroom dancing to jazz.
Yeah, it's pretty athletic is the point.
Yeah.
So the reason I bring it up is a couple of days ago, I went to a Chamber of Commerce meeting, and there's probably 20 people there. And the girl behind me, my back was to her back. The whole meeting, we didn't really talk or anything, but on the way out, I greeted everybody just to say hello and find out who they are. It turns out they own a dance studio. I went up to her. She's from the Philippines. And I went up to her and I greeted her. Her energy was off the chart. I just literally, I touched her hand and we both felt like energy. And I told her, I said, I feel your energy. And she said, I feel yours too. She says to me, I want you to come by the dance studio and I want to give you lessons. Okay.
Oh my God.
Now,
that's the synchronicity, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying is, did I call that into my world 18 months ago?
Yes.
Did I put that in motion?
I absolutely. In my opinion, yes, highly likely.
So I was pretty blown away.
Yeah, that's great. Real confirmation. I mean, that is a gratitude moment, isn't it?
That's so amazing.
Yeah.
So those are examples of, now, am I going to ever do a backflip? Yes, I will do it. I might be 90, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to get it done. Am I going to dance jazz? Yeah, even if it's just by myself. Like, nobody has to see me. It's just something that I want to do. The fact that I joke with Robin, most people work their asses off. Well, I'm working my ass
on. And a booty. With a big booty.
But it's building that support structure for my new hip.
Yeah.
So I don't have to suffer this again.
So in this jazz dancing, you'd be using a lot of glutes and a lot of quad movement in your leg, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and a lot of lateral.
I mean, your legs already look amazing.
You're sweet. Yeah. A lot of lateral movement. Like, one thing I'm doing right now is when I go downstairs, I'll show you this Bosu ball where I balance on one foot on this unstable surface.
Oh my God.
And if you do that for a length of time and then you get off the unstable surface onto the floor, you're rock solid. Like, you are so solid.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that for...
Have you ever fallen off it?
Well, in the beginning, it's tough.
Head-butted the floor. Is it? Yeah, I can imagine.
In the beginning, you're like, wow.
You need to get that on video.
You literally fall in every direction, but it's just like anything.
But you're going to practice and compensate.
Right, so I'll go on the way out, I'll just stand there and it'll be like rock solid on the Bosu ball.
Yeah.
But the first time I did it, I was a spaz. Yeah. I mean, it's just like...
Yeah, what the
you
fuck?
look like
yeah. Exactly.
You look like ridiculous.
Messed up.
So, but it's just like anything, you got to just work at it. And,
Keep
go for it.
practicing. Yeah.
So,
that old, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? You keep practicing.
so we went a long way from the question.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think we're being evicted, or do we nail that one?
I think it depends.
It's a false question.
Well,
really.
Yes, well, the premise of my existence, no, we're going to evict ourselves because there's no one going to boot us off this planet. The planet could do it. We could fuck up this planet so badly that it just has eruptions all over the place, and the planet boots us off, maybe. I don't know. I don't think we're going to fuck it up too much. It depends what we do to it, but maybe. But no, I think that we're in control.
I think I agree with you. I think if we're going to be evicted, it's because we selected to be evicted.
Yeah, well, we've done horrible things.
It's
we might not have consciously selected it, but it's cause and effect, isn't it?
It's very cool.
Yeah.
Sarah, thanks for taking pictures earlier.
Oh, you're welcome. I can't wait to see the one of the hawk.
I know, right? So, any closing thoughts for our people?
No, I don't think so.
Hey, so when's the wedding? It's coming up next week.
Okay, so my niece is coming on the 2nd.
Which is next week.
Which is next week. And then the first wedding is on the 7th, and then the second one is on the 17th. You can't have one wedding these days, apparently, darling. It's got to be two.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's got one here and one in Mexico. Because one's not enough.
Same couple?
Yeah, same couple. My son and my daughter-in-law.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's one wedding.
It's
we have
the
to
world
just keep
tour.
out doing.
Why don't you just go to Thailand and stuff too?
I said I would like to ride an elephant. I said that to my son my other son when he gets married. I want you to get married with elephants, and he's like, all right, we'll do that.
Call
Thailand.
it out.
Yeah.
Call it to you.
Here we go. Manifest.
Okay, girlfriend. Thanks for coming out.
Thanks,
take care now.
Soul Decodes, a feature presentation, airs every Friday on the Earth Angel Media Network. This episode of Soul Decodes is sponsored and produced by Live Pure. Optimize your life by taking your health to the next level. Listen now to learn how Live Pure will make your world better.
Live Pure is an American-based distribution system of online portals that give discounted access to clean, potent, natural, and ethically sourced healthy solutions for fat loss, muscle gain, immaculate skin care, immune system support, whole body cleanse, physiological balance, and performance support for athletes of all ages. Live Pure handpicks the best products and nutrients from world-class companies, always adding to their quickly growing wellness lineup that now includes Korean skincare, medical-grade nutraceuticals listed as pharmaceutical alternatives in the physician's desk reference, and healthy coffee that rivals the world's best, but for only about $1 per cup. Soul Decodes listeners looking for vitality, youth, beauty, and better health can get 25% off retail by visiting livepure.com/Sarah Tirri and signing up for free as a preferred customer. If you're a content creator, influencer, or home-based entrepreneur looking for worldwide cash flows from the emerging gig economy, Live Pure's state-of-the-industry brand partner affiliate program can bring you up to 7 different payment vectors as bonuses. As a content creator aligned with Live Pure and Earth Angel Media, you will enjoy massive co-marketing benefits, including a cutting-edge website that is personally branded to you or to your business. Sign up as a brand partner at livepure.com/Sarah Tirri, or drop us a note at connect@earthangelproject.com to get more information.